with the running, and you know all the training we've done in the past with running, but something was missing. And for me, what it was is that I had developed this really great formula of high achievement, low satisfaction. I had it down, and it's based on a myth, and the myth is one that's commonly believed, which is if in order to accomplish great things, it's best to never be satisfied. Because if I'm never satisfied, I'll keep going, right? So it's a form of motivation. When you look more closely at that type of motivation, what it really guarantees is you'll never be satisfied, because that's at the base of the myth to help you motivate. So for me, and we can get into more of this, what was missing for me was the mind element. Like, how is it possible? I began a quest. Is it possible to have high achievement? Because that's fun. I like setting goals and striving towards goals and achieving things that are difficult but yet feel very satisfying. So is it possible to continue on with that and be satisfied? Is that possible? In the beginning, I thought, probably not, but let's go after it. And then that's where meditation played a role. And I can tell you this good news, it is possible. So I can share that with you. But I wonder, too, from the Sakyong's point of view, if meditation and working with the mind and figuring a lot of those things out, if something was missing. Because the mind, body, obviously, they're more than connected. It's the same. I mean, it's all one, right? So they're not separate things. So it's an interesting point you bring up. And that's what brought me, as a runner, competitive runner, trying to run very fast, and then brought meditation in a little bit later in life to fill in and really answer that question, is it possible to do great things, achieve things you really feel good about, and also be satisfied?
Yeah. So what I'm curious about, and what I'd like to hear from you guys is, assuming that mindful running can help us, achieve our goals and achieve greater satisfaction. Well, how does one actually do it? How do we mindful run? What are the nuts and bolts? Then this is the tiger element. What are the instructions of, how does one go out there and start mindful running?
I mean, what do you think, Rock?
Well, for me, it was by doing the meditation. Going back to what I said, when I met the Sakyong, knew immediately there was something to it, and I didn't know that the details of meditation. I just knew it was good for me, and by doing that, by doing it over time, then I realized by just following the breath, as we got the instruction here at the SMC and at the Shambhala Center here and at the SMC, following the breath as we're instructed. That's how I was instructed. Follow the breath, and the nuts and bolts for me was that by doing that, I calmed down. Wasn't as impulsive. I was more patient with my training. The running was more fun. So it was simply by sitting, and then bringing something into the runs. And when I met you.
So what is meditation? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. People say, okay, meditation is good for me.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go meditate. I mean, we've heard sitting down. We've heard follow your breath. We've heard be present. Okay, but what is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot. This just came to me like, so what is meditation?
Right.
And I have an answer, but you go first.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks. Well, for me, the meditation is what I've learned over time is it's just like paying attention to myself.
Yeah.
Paying attention to myself, which I didn't want to do for a lot of years, and so that's why I was running 100 miles a week, all the way up to 122 miles was my highest ever.
Wow.
But usually 100, I'd have to hit 100, but I was not paying attention. Yeah. And so the meditation for me is I could call it meditation, deep breathing, reflection. It doesn't, to me that term doesn't matter as much. It's more just paying attention to myself and getting to know myself.
There's also an aspect of letting go as well. So kind of the in-breath, paying attention to what is, and letting go of whatever that is, and so that you can be ready for what's coming next.
What about the idea that meditation, which is really the instructions is to sit, and there's lots of other instructions around how you might hold your body, but really at the basis of it is to just be with whatever is in that moment. Is it possible that's just our natural state? So really what we're doing is we're touching base to what we naturally are prior to all the conditioning and and all the experiences we have in life and the things we're told that we should and shouldn't do and we're supposed to believe and all that kind of stuff. If you strip that stuff away and you get down to the very beginning, like a blank canvas, let's say, what would that blank canvas look like for us? And to me, it feels like it would be a quiet noticing. And the quiet noticing means there's no judgment. Judgment comes after noticing. If I'm aware of something, I might have an opinion about it, but that's always after noticing. So at the very basis of that is this quiet, non-judgmental, doesn't have any regrets, doesn't have any blaming, nothing's wrong state. That's kind of the base. And so for me, what meditation is, it's actually, maybe for one of the first times in our life, to get in touch with our natural state, which is just quiet.
Right.
And then, I know it's a little off track, but a lot of people are looking for peace, and they want to be calm and have satisfaction. And this relates to meditation. Maybe one of the benefits is peace and tranquility and calmness and those kinds of things, which a lot of people would like to have more of in their life. That it's always available to you because that is your natural state.
Right.
And the reason I bring that up is because I think when we go to meditate, I used to think of it as meditation is the instructions, kind of like sit, don't move much, follow your breath, or those kinds of things. But really, what I think meditation is being in touch with the natural state.
Right.
Yeah, along that line, what Marty's saying is you're really the natural state of a tiger. We've all seen tigers in the zoo. I don't think we've seen them in person, but we've seen deer. We've seen here in Boulder. We've seen many animals, and when you see a tiger, it's just confident,
And to your point,
strong.
when you and I met, which was I don't know, like 15 years ago now, maybe, that was about the time when I was fed up with how I was living my life. On the outside, it looked like I was confident. It looked like I was in control. I was at the top of my game in lots of different areas. I was a leader in most anything I ever did. I worked really hard to do so. But the truth was, underneath, is I was insecure and constantly trying to prove that I was good enough. And so it was false. It was a facade that I was spending a lot of energy and time maintaining and fortifying. And so for me, what happened was through the benefits of meditation, to be able to sit quietly and just to be with what is, amazingly, things bubbled up. Insights came to me, which I think is not uncommon, and I think we all have the answers to what we're looking for already within us, and being quiet can help bubble those up. Much like if I'm in the shower sometimes and I got a problem I'm thinking about and I don't really know the solution, and all of a sudden, hey, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
It just came to me.
Yeah.
I think the same, and part of it was because I'm just in the shower washing and I'm not really focused on doing other things in my life, and so it's a form of getting closer and closer to my natural state and being quiet and all that. And so I think those things come up, and that's where a lot of these insights can arise that can help guide you through your life. And for me, what it was, okay, if that's not working for me, what do I need to do? And the answer was, I need to take a closer look at why I need to prove myself so much.
Yeah, yeah. And then, so we've got the practice and the techniques of meditation, and as we, the tiger stage, as you get better and better, you can start to relax the techniques and just get to that natural state. And how has it been for you guys trying to access that same natural awareness in the context of running as an activity?
It's there. That's a great question. I was going to say that once I started the nuts and bolts, once I started paying attention, like Marty's saying, noticing, paying attention on the cushion, then it carries with you. So for the viewers out there, any newcomers to meditation and to running, I would say just if you stick with it, then you take what you have on the cushion, it carries off into your life and into the running. So.